They didn't have a lot to lose anyway. Already I'd even lost the 4 million. So my calculations were a bit different. My risk taking was a bit high. And I used to think, I can't waste time. I need to open another one.
Action. Hi, Vicky.
Hi.
Welcome on the set of Founder Diaries.
Thank you.
This is actually our very first episode that's going to go up. So welcome to Founder Diaries. This is a space where we come and we talk to other entrepreneurs, get validation, get that hand-holding, but also get our edges snatched where needed. And today's guest is someone whose business I actually really admire. So I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and the businesses that you have, and then I have some juicy questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Victoria. I consider myself a serial entrepreneur and my strength being marketing. So I own a brand called Whisper Kenya. We have 7 branches across Kenya. I also have Titi Kenya, which we sell full bust women bras. And we have Thao, which is a Kenyan footwear brand. Yes.
Great. I've actually experienced, I think, 2 of your brands that I qualify for. And you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So I want to start by asking, just before you walked in here, you were on calls.
Yes.
So I'm curious, what's one thing you refuse to hand over in your business that you know someone else could do, but you're hanging on to it, and why?
3/4 of the things I don't do.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was even telling you, there's a day I told you, why do you call me and tell me, Ati, the door was broken? I'm like, I'm not a fundi, you know.
What
So
am I
because
supposed
there's
to
so
do?
many small things to be done, especially in the spa business, I have really set my boundaries on that because I will get so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And being a marketer, creativity is very important for me. And you cannot be creative when you have so much chaos going on.
Yeah.
So most of the things I don't accept doing them because it beats the purpose.
Yeah.
My JD is definitely the marketing. Every other thing I am comfortable delegating.
Yeah,
Yes.
other people do that. And I think that's what I really admire about you, actually. So I'm actually curious. Black Friday just ended 2 days ago.
Yes.
What did you do for Black Friday? And what can we copy from you next year?
So for Vispa, we did the wheel. And it's because I felt we had done a lot of offers in between.
Yeah.
Titi, I just did an impromptu sale because I needed some cash flow. But it wasn't such a necessary sale. But it was, let me just do an impromptu sale for people, which became a bit overwhelming. For Thao, I feel fashion is a bit different. And you will find yourself with very old stock. So I did a sale which was crazy because I usually do up to 70% off because I need to finish those old stock.
Yes. I actually love what you always keep saying is you'd rather sell something at a loss than have it sit on your shelf for 2 years because that's costing a lot more money. And I think a lot of people don't actually think about it from that angle. Okay. You're known as the marketing genius. What do you say is your simple principle that you think many people overcomplicate when it comes to marketing our businesses or services or products?
It's not as tough as people make it seem. You can always sit down and gain inspiration from anything. You can literally just curate something. For example, the bra. Yes, the one we did, like the one that's called the bag.
Yeah.
I was just watching that video. I'm like, I say I can do the bra.
Yeah.
It is not as tough as people make it seem. It's very simple. You just need to draw inspiration. Ask yourself, how can I fix my business? If I've seen something interesting, how can I curate it around what I sell?
Yeah,
Yes.
and your business and make that work.
Yeah.
For those who might not know, the bag is like a series on YouTube where they have like a DJ playing music and people on the side like dancing. So Titi did a version where it was the girlies in the bras, and I think you guys, you did a good job. You did a good job. What is one marketing belief everyone swears by that you think is completely wrong?
That's a tough one, though. It's a bit tough.
Or maybe what's one thing you see when people are marketing, you're like, hey, why are you doing that? Like something that ticks you off when you see in marketing a lot, whether it's digital or even off digital.
I think when it comes to digital, you can't keep talking about the product. It's a bit boring. So I can't keep showing you the shoe every single day, but I can show it in different ways.
Yes.
So it reaches a point you see people's business pages looking like catalogs.
So Billboard.
Yes. So why are you doing that? You can always do something else that's a bit fun. Yes.
I totally agree with that. What is actually, I think you've covered that, but now that we've actually mentioned billboards, there's a few years ago you had a billboard out actually
Yes.
for Vispa.
Yes.
I'm really curious to hear what was the thought process behind, okay, let's get a billboard. Is the cost as crazy as a lot of founders assume it is? And what was the ROI, or kind of what did you learn from now doing the billboard?
For the billboard, my goal was just to ensure the brand is seen, because we had just opened the Kileleshwa branch, and I just wanted visibility. I, as an entrepreneur, I don't usually think I need to do a marketing stunt or do anything that's marketing expecting results immediately.
Yeah.
For me, it's usually just a way of me, myself, putting myself there, because sometimes the results are usually long term. You get, I know that brand, or they'll see it the second time or the third time.
Yeah.
So was it worth it? I feel like it wasn't really as worth it. I felt like, you know what, I could have paid the same amount of money in ads, and I could have gotten better. But I loved the visibility. I loved when you meet people and you have the conversation. They're like, oh, I saw that billboard. So that one was important for me. But I felt like if I wanted the money very fast, it could have been taken elsewhere.
Do you mind sharing what the cost was?
Yes, it came up to around the cost of the billboard is around 200,000
per month.
Yes. And then they have small things there, so it was coming to 300,000 plus the model sometime. It was a clean 500K.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. But then now the benefits probably were intangible. Like now, because I remember the billboard, so it had a lasting impact for sure.
And we got very interesting calls.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, like people thought this was about something else.
We were called by a lot of men, actually.
Maybe now they'll book for their wives.
No, we know that was not the case.
Okay. What decision did you make in your business that everyone around you questioned, but you were right?
I feel everybody questions. People really question my decisions. But I think just starting the businesses, it's usually what's the plan, especially for the spa. It was immediately after COVID, so it definitely seemed like a very horrible idea.
Yeah.
And I wasn't so confident about it, but I had already calculated what if it fails. So I was okay with the failing of the business because I had already calculated. But it was a very risky venture, considering salons and spas had closed during that time. It was actually COVID happened around March. I opened it August of 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, so that was a bit risky. I've also had moments of really buying a lot of stock. Yes. I'm very notorious with that. And I keep thinking to myself, it's just 1,000 pieces. I can't allow 1,000 people to buy. And then unawakosanga. So that one usually puts me in a lot of financial
distress.
Yes.
Okay. Are you able to draw a line in terms of how much money you put, especially now that all the businesses are at least a bit older? Are you able to draw the line of this is how much money I'm willing to invest and I'm not willing to go beyond this point? And do you ever like pull into your own personal pockets to fund the businesses?
I don't sit down. What I do most of the time is I really calculate. I definitely do a lot of mental calculation, which is inclusive of the losses. So I'm usually open. It can fail. So whatever money I put, I don't have a line, but I usually like if am I ready to lose this money?
Yeah.
So I can put, like, for example, at that stage in my life, for example, when I was starting out, 200,000 was money I wasn't willing to lose. So that's what I normally do. It's usually a calculation of, is it money I'm ready to lose, because it's very possible.
Yeah. To lose the money. So you still do sometimes pick money from your pocket to fund into the business. Okay. I mean, that season of all my businesses. And no, it's not. It's not. Vicky and the businesses are separate. I mean, that stage of funding stage, and I'm like, imetosha. Yeah, because now savings are zero.
Yes.
Anyway, it will come back. If you had to double your revenue with zero extra budget, what's the first strategy you'd activate?
I would definitely start with TikTok Live. Yes, I would definitely be a broker. Yes, that is zero capital.
Mm.
I would come and say, can I help you sell these products? Or I would definitely go TikTok live way. That would be my easiest way.
Okay.
Yes.
And now if you are rebuilding your brands now, Vispa, Thao, and Titi, without social media, what's your marketing strategy?
I think I am able to talk to people easily. So I think I'll just go, hi, this is what I do.
Person to person.
Yes. I could have been on those streets of Nairobi. Nikiongojeana hapo nje ya Vispa hapo. Nikisema, hi guys, we do waxing. Hi guys.
Come do
Hi
waxing.
guys, come.
Yeah. Now to go a bit deep and emotional, what's a moment in your business that almost broke you and how did you pivot?
The one that almost broke me. Losing my social media.
Oh, you lost when?
Yes, I had lost the Vispa one.
Yeah.
That one.
When was that?
I think 2021. And I had just now built it.
Yeah.
I'd paid a lot of influencers. Yes, that one I didn't like it. Also, there was a time no, that one is not the one. There was a time I sent money to China. And that money was loan money. I will never forget it. It was 4 million shillings. And then the method I used to send that money, that time there was a lot of money laundering happening in China. So the method that was used by the warrior to send that money was illegal. So the police had to keep that money. And I stayed like for 1 year without those codes.
Oh, at least, but the money come back? Or
yes,
they paid?
it did.
Okay.
It came much later.
Yeah.
That was a really defining moment for me.
It was for Titi goods or it was for?
No, it was for it was for Vispa items. Yes. So and it was loan money.
Yeah. So you had to now find another 4 million from someone to buy the goods. Ama ulisema acha zikae?
I had to reduce your stock too. So I asked myself, how much can I get? So I got 500,000. I actually rebuilt the business again because losing 4 million, that's not your money.
Yeah, that's like
that was
because now you have to start paying the loan.
Yes. I just paused for 2 days and he decided, you know what? We are starting again. Now that money is lost and it's gone. So we looked for 500,000 and just reduced the stock. So if it was, I was buying 10 items, I bought 3 because the money needs to start coming back. I need to pay the loan. And then one morning the supplier calls me and tells me the money has been released over 1 year later.
Hey. I think I can go to China myself and oversee so I can get my money back.
It was around also
during
COVID. Yes.
Well, okay. You mentioned that Vispa has 7 branches.
Yes.
I'm really curious to hear your pick on, like, does more branches mean more money? What thought process do you go behind before you open another branch? Because I think I'd been so resistant to opening another branch. I think the only reason Bitsquare has a second branch is because of Sage.
Yes.
I think that is a model I'll piggyback on because I'm not sure if the investment and the overheads justifies, the extra income it comes in. And then I think sometimes what happens is now the customers of that area just stop going to the main branch and they start going there. Are we really tapping into a new market? You can just tell me your experience, your thoughts.
I think as a beginner entrepreneur, my risk taking was a bit high. They didn't have a lot to lose anyway. Already I'd even lost the 4 million. So my calculations were a bit different because how can I have a shop like how they spy in CBD and there's a whole queue of people. And I used to think I can't waste time. I need to open another one. And it means people need this service. Because I remember when we did the first month at Vispa CBD, we didn't even finish the whole month. I had already taken the next shop. And then after 3-4 months, Kilelesho opened. So at that particular moment, the money was coming in and I used to feel like, you know what, I need to keep the ball rolling. I need to keep the ball rolling. This point, I'm a bit more calculative now. I have more to lose. But that time, there was not a lot to lose.
Yeah.
For example, when it comes to Titi, because Titi is a small business, it's just been 2 years and it has 3 branches. But the calculation was a bit different because I took a small shop, the one at Kigiri, and the shop I wanted a shop for not more than 15,000. And if you ask me, it's a business that, and it's because it needs a shop. That's why I got a shop. So I got a small space and the business demanded for more space.
Yeah.
So that's when I took CBD. And then now CBD business is working. I had a lot of space in Vispa Imara. So the Vispa Imara shop is quite big. So this space can become a shop. So right now my calculations are a bit more because there's so much to lose.
Yeah.
It's different. But my rule is also very simple. If one shop cannot afford the other shop, I don't feel the necessity.
Like if this shop can't pay the bills of this other one.
Yes. So, and until I saw the Vispa, the Titi shop, the one that the rent was 15,000, making money that can pay another shop. That's how I opened the other shop.
Yeah.
So I got a shop. The rent is over 100,000. So I was like, if this business cannot make 100,000 in a day, I don't need to open another shop. So the shop demanded.
Yeah.
Vispa, it was out of, the business was booming. So I was in things need to move fast.
Yeah.
Are there businesses suffering now because competition has become more? Yes, like my CBD branch obviously goes through, it has been doing great, but right now because of the competition, it's quite different.
Yeah.
So that is basically how I do it. Yes.
Okay, that's a good answer. Maybe there's something that you mentioned once that I think is a really great guideline. You said before you take on a big bill for the business, not like rent in this case, you ask yourself, can it generate this income in a day? And if it can't, then let it stand. I think that's a good way to think about it. Yeah. Hey, okay. Even me with this location, they told me the rent. I was like, okay, that's not bad. But then my first branch like the big branch in CBD, New Stanley, when they told me the rent, I was like, wow, I don't know if I can manage this rent. And to be honest, it's been by God's grace. and now we can afford it. So I think definitely be more calculated because things can also go left. There was actually a point where I had to go to my landlord and tell them. Actually, the plan was I was putting in my notice. I was like, how do I get out of my lease? And the lady said, no. Like, I'm not letting you get out of your lease. And she walked me to their CFO and they were like, okay, so what do you need to stay? They're like, okay, we'll reduce your rent. And then they also told me, we let you pay rent as long as it's within the month, as long as the 5th. And that grace period gave me a bit of time to figure things out. But definitely you need to be calculated before you take on these expenses.
For example, there are products that really don't need a shop.
Yeah, online is fine.
Yes, like the Thao shop is very tiny. It's a very tiny shop, very cheap rent. There's nothing that is aesthetically pleasing about that shop. But it's a business model that I'm trying to keep every cost as low as possible, and I just concentrate on the quality of the shoe. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But you'll find just business people who are in a hurry to open a shop. I think the other time when I went to Shanghai, I remember just thinking to myself, when you go to those first world countries is when you realize the retail space is changing. And I remember telling my friend, you're in a shop that sells phone, but they are selling also shisha there. And I kept asking, and then I realized they are doing something of, they have a product or a service that you need to be there. But if you don't need to be there, they don't feel the need of having a shop. People are concentrating. There's also that brand called Gentle Monster that sells sunglasses and some outfits. So their shops are just art. So if you feel like going to see art, you go there and then you come out with like glasses or something. And I was like, this is the space of retail. And if it's not necessary for somebody to open a shop, it's just an unnecessary expense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So earlier you alluded to something studying your money and the business money. I'm curious to hear, one, how do you separate Vicky's money and the business's money? And given that you have 3 separate businesses, how do you also separate the individual finances? Because you tend to find what will happen is one business will eat the other one depending on cash flow and the sales. So how are you able to keep that separation?
First, Vicky is very broke.
All founders are broke.
I feel like Vicky doesn't have money. She needs to start having money. So, but of course, each business has its own accounts, but I also pay myself. Yes. There are moments for sure I can say one business will eat the other one, especially when the other one is doing so well. You find yourself, you're not putting so much money in the one that's not doing well.
Yeah.
I'm guilty for that. So it happens. But what else has helped me is I have given each business my personal expense. Because I have realized even if I decide sometimes I decide I'm paying myself, and then I've put in my personal account, then I'm called mzigo imeingia, start removing that money. So what I did, I just made sure each business does some sort of expense for me. So if one does the car, the other one does something else.
School fees,
yes. I have made sure that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now entering something called the technically segment.
Yes.
I want to hear some technical or very specific things about how you do things that we can maybe borrow from to be more like you.
Yes.
So you've talked to me a little bit about what your day-to-day tends to look like. What's one or two things that you have to do every day that you feel like contribute to you keeping the ball moving, and maybe one thing you have to do weekly as well?
The most important thing for me to do in a day is definitely keep up on what's happening, not in my business, just around the world. You need to take time and watch what other people are doing to, of course, give me inspiration. And hata ukumbuke, juu sometimes you can think uko mbele, na uko mbele tu kwenye ushago. And now I feel like every day I have to take time and just catch up with the world.
Yeah.
That is usually very important for me. Definitely catching up with my PA and how things are moving. Weekly has been, of course, the money is money coming in, is it not coming in? You have to also check the stock, because you can think sometimes you don't have cash flow and you realize you have stock that you need to push. Those are the most important thing.
Yeah.
And because for me, I'm big on cash flow, I keep discussing about cash flow completely. I make sure the cash flow is good and the marketing is good. I've done my biggest part as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Everything else can be delegated. Yes.
If you had like a magic wand that you could wave and make sure that every entrepreneur does this like every day,
Yes.
what's that one thing you'd force everyone to do?
Ensure things are moving. Ensure you are making sales.
Yeah.
That you have to ensure. Everything else sometimes is not as important. Yes.
I think it's very easy to end up realizing you've taken a back seat, by the way.
Yes.
And also sometimes it can be from not wanting, but from a point of frustration.
Yes. And sometimes I find entrepreneurs sometimes doing very unnecessary things. You wake up, you want to start cases of who has cleaned, what has... The end of the day, you've not done any sales because you're following up things that are not as important.
Yeah.
Because the most you are in the business of making money. You are in business. That's why you are in business.
Yeah.
So you have to ensure you've made sales. What are the target for today? How can I make sure tomorrow I reach better target? What was the issue today? Why was I not selling?
Yeah.
Everything else can come later.
And that's a good question to ask yourself every day, actually, sitting with the sales
yes.
report. Okay. Do you usually do like an end-month finance meeting to go
Yes,
over
we
the
do.
finances?
Yes.
What decisions do you make from that meeting?
Number one for the spa is who's been lazy, because that is the most thing. Because we have services that are commissioned based, so we usually, what is happening to this person, where were they, where, because now for the service, the person is the product, so we have to make sure. That is one thing. That is one question I have to ask myself. I also have to ask myself, why is this product not moving? Why did it not do this month well? And just catching up with, my expenses are usually just the same, so I don't have a lot of
variation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And also wanting to know why I don't have a lot of cash flow. You realize, what, I might have bought a lot of things, because sometimes you will find yourself as an entrepreneur, you don't have cash flow, but your money is in some shipping costs. Yes. Is in China, such things. Yeah.
Actually, at the end of the month, when we do our finance reports and then they show us the figures profit, I'm like, where is this money? Because it's not in my account.
Yes. And I keep thinking, this is not okay. Why am I this broke? And there's a lot of money here. And you can realize it can become an addiction. unconsciously, because I felt like at some point I had that addiction where I just didn't want to see that account with money. The money needs to be somewhere.
It needs to be working.
Yes, it needs to be working. And then you realize now you're finding yourself in a lot of trouble, and even just taking necessarily small loans because you don't have cash flow. You realize goods have come in, you don't have money, you had sent the other one. Yes.
That's valid. I think maybe now you need to identify points of investments for Vicky personally.
Yes.
But also, does the business have cash reserves?
We do have a cash reserve for Vispa specifically. Yes.
Okay. But that's another thing I'm also picking up for, like,
no, it's for Vispa only.
Yeah. Because you'll find in a situation that needs a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you think back to all these months where like there was money by the way, now where's the money now? I think also realizing the power of compounding. Like if you just save 10,000 a day, at the end of the year you would have accumulated.
Yes.
That's how much money? 3.6. That's 3.6. Yeah.
So. I feel those things now work when the business has reached our level. I feel like a small entrepreneur, growth is very important.
True.
You need, and time is usually of the essence. I keep saying there are favors. You know, when you start out the business, sometimes things are just working out.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are times God will push the ball for you. From there, now it's your work. And that's why when I was telling you when I was starting out, I realized, you know what? People need waxing. So it was a marathon.
Yeah.
A marathon for sure. Because that is how I kept the ball rolling.
Yeah.
As a small entrepreneur, I don't feel the need of holding. You might not. There's usually some sort of urgency.
To keep going. I think what would be good is to cultivate the habit early. Because now sometimes I struggle with doing it because I'm like, I'm putting this money aside. And so I think cultivating the habit, and maybe now at a different scale, maybe it's 200 bob a day or 500 bob a day, an amount that you won't miss, that it can't fix your problems. And you cultivate that habit. So even when the business is making, 50 million a month, you have no problem putting aside 10%. Because also I think the problem also comes in with us extracting money from the business.
Yes.
Because you find you've gotten into this addiction, like you're saying, or this habit of everything goes back.
Yes.
Then you run a business for 20 years. You're being on paper, it's made 1 billion shillings.
Yeah.
But you personally own a key too. You have absolutely nothing to show
sure.
for it. Yeah.
For sure. But it's also okay to remind small entrepreneurs the chaos are okay when you're starting out. Yes. Because you can even think every single thing and you feel to grow. The chaos are okay and they're normal.
Yeah.
You now start gaining confidence even in yourself. Because even having confidence to realize you can actually run a business, it's a whole other thing. So the chaos are okay starting out. When you learn something like from this conversation, you can implement it.
Yes.
But there's no shame with the chaos at starting.
That's very true. Okay. If your brands were people, how would each behave at a party? How would you characterize their personalities?
They behave like their mother. Fun and laughter. So for Vispa, I look at her as a classy, calm girl, just seated at the corner. She knows her power. She's relaxed. Titi, definitely that babe, that baddie, the one who causes a lot of attention there.
Yeah.
Thought she may be that drunk babe. That's
Why
usually
is she
everywhere.
drunk?
But she's still fine,
Yeah. Okay, so to wrap things up, I just have a few quick fire questions for you. What is the last thing you did for fun?
A random trip to Mombasa.
When was that?
Right now. So I just arrived.
That's good. I love that. One thing you struggle with that you wish more people talked about?
What do I struggle with? I think structure. I find you very structured, by the way.
Is it structure? Am I just pack a lot of things into my time?
I feel you're very organized. Like that time I came to your meeting, I kept thinking, when I left there, I told myself, Yvonne is such a structured babe. I wish I'd be that structured. Yes.
Okay, and now what I admire in you is like the opposite.
The
fact that you don't feel the pressure to have things a certain way.
Yes.
Okay. What does success look like for you now versus when you were starting out?
Success for me is a lot of peace of mind. I think I have left the level of, when I was starting out, it was out of need.
Yeah.
You know, you reach that's, starting out of scarcity is a bit different. So right now I feel like I am no longer in a place of fear.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this because I like it. I'm doing this because I know I can still do it. Even if it falls down, I would still.
Yeah.
Starting out, you're in a place of fear. Yes. There's a day I mentioned, even start blocking competitors on social media. But no, it's okay. You just see, you can ask me questions even if we're in the same line. So, yeah.
Okay. What is a book you've read? I think you mentioned you love to read, that you think every entrepreneur needs to have read in their life.
The Laws of Human Nature. Yes.
Why?
And also I like the Courage to be Disliked.
Okay.
Yes. The Laws of Human Nature is just the psychology of humans. Number one, it helps you understand yourself and it helps you understand others. And entrepreneurship is just relationship with others.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Love that. A question that you'd like the next guest to answer.
Sijaifikiria hiyo.
So what pops up in your mind?
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are they going for Christmas? I mean, it's
Good
random.
question. Yeah, no, that's fine. They'll answer. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on our set. Any parting words that you'd like to share, and then plug your businesses?
Okay.
Yeah.
The most important thing for any entrepreneur starting out is just starting.
Yeah.
And you can start it with no matter the circumstances. There is no fear. It is not as complicated as sometimes as entrepreneurs like pretending. We like saying it's hard. And so is unemployment and lacking money. So if you want to start, just start. And of course, I'm trying to grow my personal brand. I'm still struggling with that. It's Victoria 2_MG. And then Titi Kenya, one word, Vispa Kenya, and Thao.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming on. Before you leave, I really have to say, Thao, the shoes are really, the quality is so good. So good. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Make sure to hit the subscribe button or whatever platform that you're listening to. It's both on audio and on visual, and see you on the next one. Bye. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Beauty Square KE. Beauty Square was my first full-blown business and the brand that pulled me into entrepreneurship and shaped so much of what I share here. In many ways, this podcast is an ode to that journey, the lessons, the growth, and the courage to start before everything was figured out. At Beauty Square, we're passionate about helping everyone become a skin expert, offering authentic products from TikTok favorites to proven solutions for acne, dark spots, and more, with a team ready to guide you through all the right choices. Visit us at our CBD or Lavington branches for expert treatments like facials, waxing, body scrubs, and massages from our sister brand Sage. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at beautysquare.ke and at Sage Skin, spelled SAGESKNN. And thank you for tuning in.